If 0 is interchangeable with 9 and 0 is actually the womb space and one of the twins is the divine feminine giving birth to this man-child that disrupts the resonance that shuts down the moon machine, then it makes perfect sense that this particular 0 interchanging with the number 9, which 9 is actually the masculine part of the yin-yang 6-9 divine feminine, it makes perfect sense that including this number 9 in the equation will create the singularity, which is the black hole sun event. So how the sun and the light spectrum that works, the rainbow in the sky and seeing the frequency of colors is pretty much seeing the programming of the sun itself and how those frequencies work within our light spectrum of existence. So how your eyes interpret light is the density of an object is by your eyes analyzing the pattern of light and shadow variations across the surface. So it's pretty much your eyes are basically interpreting the density of an object and looking at it through the lens of, okay, how dense is that object? And your brain is interpreting what color on the spectrum that particular object is. So you're not actually seeing the color red. What you're seeing is the light or the frequency numerical value or density of the color red. And that is your brain interpreting and saying, this is the color red. So you're able to see it. That's how our eyes work in conjunct with the sun. The moon machine shuts down. The light on the sun or the remaining light or fusion power that's on the outer layer of the sun begins to shed and basically create these flares that in turn burst out into Earth, revealing the new sun or the black sun or what they call the black hole sun underneath. What then happens next? So as you can see in this particular diagram that I put together on the macronova frequency reset rapture, basically it's saying that one will be taken and one will be left, which is this theory that everybody has around a rapture. Let me tell you exactly how that rapture will actually go. One will be taken and one will be left, but the one taken or the one removed will be the person who cannot receive the light burst from the solar flare. So in the scripture in Luke chapter 17, starting with verse 34, it says, I tell you, in the night there shall be 2 men in one bed, the one shall be taken and the other shall be left. 2 women shall be grinding together, the one shall be taken and the other left. 2 men shall be in the field, the one shall be taken and the other left. And they answered unto him, Where, Lord? And he said unto him, Whosoever the body is, thither will the eagles be gathered together. Based on this diagram, who are the ones that are going to be taken or removed or deleted by this moon reset, and who are going to be the ones left behind? Well, I will give you my theory on that as to why the people who are left behind will be the people who have activated fully their light body. So in order for you to withstand this particular reset, you would need to be able to absorb the light energy that is going to be burst in the form of a solar class X flare or whatever number flare it's going to be. Your body would need to be open, meaning your third eye would need to be able to absorb light. You would need to be light as a feather, as in like Mayat, having no dense frequencies. You've confessed and gotten all of the heavy laden things off of your heart in terms of the things that you have done in this world. And you would need to be physically balanced within your light body, meaning that you're not burdened heavily with food. You're not burdened heavily with parasites. You're not burdened heavily with toxins. You are light as a feather and receiving the light energy of the sun within your third eye and crystallizing and saving up the sun's energy or the power through light codes within your physical vessel. So imagine once the sun sheds its outer layer and this huge flare happens, basically all of that light is going to need to go somewhere. And also you're going to have the duality of this other part of the process happening, which is now the resonant frequency is no longer holding all matter together. So as the Bible states, like you see in this diagram in 1 Corinthians 15:52, we will be changed in the twinkling of an eye. And that means that because the moon machine is no longer working, now the resonance is open, and whatever our shapes are supposed to be or whatever we are outside of this particular third dimensional reality, we will then be changed in the twinkling of an eye, meaning that the nodal and antinodal lines that hold everything together or the path of least resistance, which is the resonance, will no longer be limiting how we looked. We will be whoever we're meant to be. Whatever our light bodies look like, we will now become in the twinkling of an eye. So I will go ahead and plug in my matrix hack, basically decode, that talks about the different commandments or the rules or the laws of God, basically the 10 commandments, and how it governs each part of the light body, and how you need to open up your body to receive more light codes and prepare your vehicle for this particular event so that you can receive more light in your body. You pretty much need to become a station or you need to become a vessel of light, which means that you're receiving more light. Your body is tuned with the correct frequency so that when this particular flare happens, you're able to receive all of that light as it bursts and be changed in a positive way, or pretty much be shaped by this new resonant frequency. And you need to be storing power or light within your body for the darkness that is to come, like a battery being charged. So when the sun sheds its outer layer and pretty much you are able to absorb all of that light, you technically become like a light yourself. When it's dark outside and the sun is black and everyone who hasn't prepared their body pretty much gets taken, however that means, which I'll explain a little bit on what I think that is. Basically, you will become the light yourself. You will hold yourself until the new sun starts to burn the frequency of blue. And our new reality is highlighted with the new nodal and antinodal lines, and everything that is in existence changes in the twinkling of an eye. It won't just be us changing, it will also be the entire environment, because we won't be the only thing receiving these light codes. Animals, trees, plants, the planet Earth itself will receive this burst of light and will transform into whatever it's supposed to be now that the resonant frequency has shifted. As I stated before, the people that are taken will have something happen to them, and the people who are left will absorb the remaining light, and all that is in existence will absorb the remaining light. Now, I do believe the people that are taken will also absorb the light. However, it won't be in a good way where their body is actually, or their light body is prepared enough to absorb it. They will then become a crystal, because if everything is frequency, okay, and crystals themselves are frozen frequency, or frozen minerals, which are frequency, basically, they themselves will become crystals, just like this, okay? And I wonder, is this the first reset we've ever had? Maybe these particular things are from the previous reset, and they are a part of the frozen frequencies that happened when Earth was reset previously. This kind of reminds me of the story of Sodom and Gomorrah, you know, when Lot's wife turned around and turned into a pillar of salt. Basically, if we're the salt of the earth and salt is crystals, I believe that by this reset event happening, everything that is not prepared to receive the light will actually turn into a frozen crystal. So you pretty much, after the sun reset happens and it sheds its outer layer, all of the light energy will be dispersed into the atmosphere. Now we can start talking about what this world is going to look like. I believe that we will be surrounded by a crystal city, which explains within the book of Revelations, it's talking about the layers of the kingdom of heaven having these different crystals from its foundations. I believe that the people and everything that is not prepared to receive the light, as well as the environment receiving the light, will turn everything into crystals.